creator, as Claudia said, trash. A number of years ago, I was sitting in my studio and I was experimenting with how to break out of the 2D space that is, I was prototyping that. Crumbled one up, threw it to the bin, I missed, lands on the floor, so I'm just staring at that crumbled piece of paper on the floor. From there, my mind just wandered off. I began to think about my art, longevity, legacy, and eventually came to the point of wondering, when will my art be considered trash? As artists, our work is our legacy. It lives beyond our lifetime, but there will be a point where that time ends and that work ends up in the trash. So that question has followed me over a number of years. I've expanded this series in various ways and had a lot of interesting conversations with folks. This piece in general starts off as just a painting, at which I cut it out, as you can see, folded up, resembling that crumbled piece of paper there. Generally, the message I want to really convey, and I'm a believer of, is every beginning has an end, but every end has a beginning. So with that, I want to celebrate the end being the beginning now, versus waiting for that overall timeline to end. And that is my piece, Throw Me in the Trash.
Is it a self-portrait?
It's not a self-portrait, no. It would be interesting. I should have probably done that.
That would be next time.
Is there any kind of pain to cutting that canvas after painting it?
In the beginning, yes, but after some time, it has actually become freeing and has allowed me to actually disconnect from my work and not worry, and thus then experiment more. So it was actually an interesting effect where, yes, in the beginning, I was very questioning, should I even try this? Just because of the destructive nature of it. But I'm glad I did, because, yeah, it ended up being very freeing and allowing me to experiment in a lot of different ways where a lot of artists will have that worry.
What are the other pieces like? Are they similar to this? Are they portraits? Do you rip up landscapes or other things too? Or
Very similar. So I'm a portrait artist in general. So I do my focus is in portraits. But over the last few years, trying to mold in the abstract realm of things. So my portraits are becoming somewhat abstract, as you can see. So in general, they all have a similar theme. They're all faces crumbled up, and they have somewhat of an emotion tied to them.
I'm interested in the letting go. What do you find out? Was it liberating? Like the identification with who you are and your work are so important, right? What happened with that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So with changing that mindset, as far as recognizing that, oh, the work will not live forever, it brought in a new appreciation as far as the work I'm creating now. I'm finding that I'm not trying to create this amazing piece that's going to captivate the world for centuries. I'm now focused more so just creating work that will live in the moment and finding satisfaction with that moment itself, versus the longevity and the projections that it may bring.
Do you see
You go ahead.
Do you see yourself working larger?
Yeah, so my I'm working on a new series that is connected somewhat with this. That is much larger, and it's actually more self-portraits. And it has to do with more of letting go of parts of yourself to explore the new you that a lot of us tend to fight. We tend to not want to relinquish parts of ourselves and carry that with us, but in general, maybe that's not a good idea as time progresses. So that my new series is connected with this one, but it has a separate message in general.
Interesting.
Your story is very interesting. So you focus more on the process and then you let it go. And it's, in a way,
Yeah.
which is like a life lesson.
Well, which has to do a lot with conceptual art.
Yeah.
You know, conceptual art is the idea, you know, and this, I can think of three things. One is contemporary art on its own, because if you remember the Mauricio Catalan, when he did the banana 2 years ago at Art Basel, remember he put a banana with a duct tape. It was a pop-up, if you want to believe that, but it got sold for $100,000. But the banana and the duct tape didn't get sold, the certificate gets sold, not the work. And conceptual art, you don't sell the work, you sell the certificate of art.
Right.
So something like that reminds me a lot of the concept of art, the contemporary art. A lot of contemporary art are installation, and you can't purchase, you can't take it home because they decay. Also, the idea that NFT, you know, totally reminds me of the idea of NFT. And also, what I get a lot here are collectors who don't know what to do with their work because their kids don't have room to keep the work, they don't have the means to keep the work and insure, so what do they do with the art? So they come to me and they say, oh, what do I do? I want to donate to a museum. You know, museums don't have storage space for art anymore. So it's again, you know, this like pieces like this. Sydney has, I have actually one case that included this piece. He has pieces in a lot of glass collectors in the United States, and they don't know what to do with this because it's heavy, it's expensive, you need to pay insurance, and what do? So all of a sudden, I mean, you're gonna find in what, Savers? You know, and then I also have a lot of friends who go to Savers and they send me pictures. It's valuable. I'm not an appraiser. I don't know, but it's funny because so this, you know, it inspires a lot of conversation about contemporary art today. And at the same time, you go, okay, don't take me wrong, but you go to Marshalls, you go to Savers, you go to Wayfair, you go, and you see people actually walking out of the store with artwork, and I'm like, oh no, that's trash, you know, you just don't want a printed something on a canvas, you know. We want to buy from local artists and original art. So again, when they take work home, they're proud because they bought art, but at the same time, we know that it's not necessarily an original piece of art. I am never going to tell them, you know, you're buying trash art, but, you know, so
buy this.
very, very, very controversial, very valid, and it's definitely an important piece that keeps us thinking about contemporary art.
Yeah, thank you for that.